So we covered iOS 18 yesterday and all its customization glory. And in today's episode, we're going to go ahead and find out 15 more changes that I have identified in iOS 18. Alright guys, so the first one is in Calendar. So if we go to Calendar, you'll see this is kind of how it used to look, but take a look up here. If you go ahead and click this now, they have different calendar options now. So of course we had compact before, that's pretty similar, but if we click this again, here's the one I really like, the details. So if we take a look at the details, you'll see that I do have a little bit more here than I had before. I can see the details now in iOS 18, and you can actually grab some of these events and just kind of pull them out of the area. All right, so here it goes. I was able to get it to work here now. So let's say I want to move this iOS 18 event on the iPhone 11, which I plan to do soon. Let's say I want to put it on the 20th. I was able to just quickly move that calendar event right over. So that's a neat new feature on here. That's one of the changes I identified, and I think you're going to enjoy this because it gives you more flexibility and control over your calendar events, and it makes it more useful, honestly. Another change I identified is in the app library. They do look a little bit different inside of here. You'll see these apps kind of have like this curved look to the edges. You could see right over there. Now, honestly, if I'm being real with you, this reminds me of the Google Pixel folders. Have you ever seen the Pixel folders? They kind of do that similar thing right there. But now you can see they kind of have this little curve on the corner. That's a little bit different. They never used to look like that. If you go over here, you'll see it kind of matches up though with these more curved corners here in the control center. So let me know your thoughts on that. Do you appreciate that look? I like the consistency. It definitely matches up well. So I can't believe I didn't see this one yesterday, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit one of the lights and we're gonna talk about the flashlight. It has this new animation now. So if you click the flashlight here, you can go ahead and move it like this. Look at that. It's really cool. And at nighttime, it feels like you're kind of just like flicking the switch on like a flashlight. If you have one of those flashlights where you can go up and down for more brightness, it literally feels like that. And you can see the animation changes as well. And it gets really bright or really dim. So that's a really nice new iOS 18 animation, I think. All right, so I don't know if I was going too fast or whatever, but I didn't show this quite exactly in the original video. They do have the send later, but I think I figured it out. So send later is not available right now if you're sending to Android devices. So I was showcasing my Android device, which is my Galaxy phone. So I'm going to show you one with iMessage. All right, so within iMessage, by the way, the person who was talking to me was talking about tacos. If you like tacos, shout outs to you as well. If we scroll down here and we go to, you'll see right over here where it says images. Up here, it will say send later. So if you click that, right, so I'm going to reply, I love tacos, but I don't want to send it right now because this person is actually at work right now. Later at about 4 p.m. So pretty cool. You can schedule it for different days as well. An awesome feature. Again, I briefly touched on it in my initial video, but I didn't showcase how it works. All right, so the next one is the more easily resizable widget. So let's go ahead and add the most popular widget, which is probably the weather widget. Let me go ahead and just add a small weather widget. Now you see this little thing right here. You basically can just pull it around like so to grab different widget sizes. So that's what's going to happen there. That's pretty cool. You can resize the widget straight from the home screen instead of having to go into the widget section and choose those specific widget sizes. So that is something I really, really appreciate about this new iOS 18. So that's just something I wanted to cover that I didn't initially cover in my initial video. One thing I'm not liking is when I'm pulling in a widget, like all my icons I just moved over keep still flying up to the corner. I don't really like that. So like I'm bringing them back down right now because when I put that widget in, they kind of still flew up there. So some of the Apple stuff still remains, like how things kind of try to stay neat, even though you can move them around. It still tries to keep it as neat as possible. So that's just something I noticed. Now within Control Center, that widget resizing nature actually plays very similar here in the Control Center. You can resize these Control Centers icons really easily, and you can make them big, smaller, a little bit smaller, wider. I kind of like the flashlight really large because that's like one of my most used Control Center commands. But once you get it full, of course it's going to go on to like another page. And so that's basically what's going to happen if you get it too full, like I did right there. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you start making them large, you're going to have multiple pages on here. So if you want to keep it clean and neat, you'll want to make sure you just put the most important ones front and center right here, or else you're going to have another page, which is going to slow you down probably a little bit. Another neat thing I noticed I didn't really mention is that the brightness slider is now yellow and that's blue. So it's a little bit more colorful here all around the board. Customization across the board, they're making this a little bit more colorful than ever before. And if you go ahead and hit the customize home screen again, I didn't also mention that right now you kind of have to tint sometimes other pages. Sometimes it don't work. Some apps are not working properly. I think it's going to get better over time. And as you can see in beta right here, some of these apps right now are kind of like not doing their job properly right now. This is why you should probably wait for a few beta updates. All right, so at number 7 is to customize the lock screen controls down here. This is something I think a lot of people have been wanting to do for a while. If you go ahead and hit minus, hit add, you can go ahead and add multiple controls, such as flashlight, calculator, alarm, dark modes, and you can mix it up. Now, personally, I'm going to leave flashlight because that's super useful on the lock screen. And I'm probably even going to leave camera. I know I'm probably being a little bit simple over here, but I really like those too. Those are the ones I want there. But if you're not the type of person who wants that there, then you have the option now. So I actually been thinking about this overnight. I think a lot of people are going to like the fact that they have it, but I would bet that a lot of people are still going to use iOS pretty simply and not really get too crazy. Only with the customization, I think only some people that are really been wanting this are going to play with this. Like regular users are probably not even going to go crazy with the customization, like playing with it all the time. Maybe initially, but then I think people just leave their home screens however they have them and then just get on with their day. Let me know your thoughts on that. You think it's going to be super heavily used, or you think it's just going to be used by people who really love tech, who've been wanting this customization for a long time? Let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm just generalizing there. Comment down below. Another thing I noticed is that they added in the settings, they kind of tell you what Bluetooth does. It's kind of like, okay, I kind of know what Bluetooth does, but they put that there. If you go to general, they kind of tell you what general does. Like Apple, I think I know how to use this. I've been using this for a long time. But at the same time, you know, for new users coming over to iPhone, it's just letting you know, a little quick message, what's popping in there. So that's just something to take note of. Another one that I missed in the initial review, and this is the number 9, is eye tracking. So this is all new in accessibility. You scroll down here, they have this all new eye tracking right here. So you can turn this on and it allows you to adjust with your eyes. So now you can go ahead, as you can see, I can literally move. I guess the blink is the action. You can literally go back. So yeah, this is something for those of you out there who want to use it. It's probably going to be more for people who aren't able to use their hands as often. That's a pretty amazing feature, but I'm not going to use this. It just depends. So it's a really good enhancement for those of you who do need to use your eyes to navigate iOS. Another neat new feature and kind of a throwback to old school phones is we have a T9 dialer now. So essentially you can kind of type in people's names with these letters through the numbers and it'll find that person's name. This could speed up your efficiency day to day if you make a lot of phone calls and you don't want to dig through contacts. Honestly, I think it's easier just to use contacts, but if you want to use T9 dialer and you don't know people's numbers, you can just type out their name in the dialer and be on your way. All right, so yesterday I was taking in a lot of information before making that beta review, but I realized within the calculator that if you go to math notes, we talked about how we could do handwriting, which it does do properly. But if you click this right here, you can actually just type out your calculations. So if you do 450 and you just do the X 50, it'll just kind of give you the calculation right there. If you go ahead, hit the divide sign, 450 divided by 5, and you get 90. So that's just something in calculator that is pretty awesome. You can also, not only can you write with the Apple Pencil or your finger with markup, but you can also just type out the calculations and they'll come out pretty nicely as well. All right, another feature I didn't cover is just there's a little different animation right here. If you see, when we go ahead and click down and up, there's a little boom, 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 boom. Okay, Stop, Nick. Get on with the show. So if we go ahead and click right here, also right here, you'll see on the power button, I briefly touched on this in the initial review, but if you see right there, as I click the power button, it goes ahead and kind of does a little punch out, like it just kind of like bumps out of the side. It's pretty cool. This one is a settings app, is a little more compact. As you can see right here, it's kind of like more in, but the real big upgrade here is, I can't believe I missed this in the initial review, was apps. So I used to complain about this all the time, how they have all the apps at the bottom of settings. They need to clean that up, and they did. They definitely cleaned it up. Now all your apps are in one clean, organized section, with even the ability to go through like this and even find them grouped by letter. So a very clean update here to iOS 18, putting all your apps in one section. It compacts down settings. It makes it less looking huge. Like you could scroll forever with your apps in settings in iOS 17 because there's so many at the bottom of the settings app. I also noticed not only are you able to go ahead and customize, if we go to customize widgets on the home screen, you could actually put them in right there as well. You can grab the app, pull those widgets like right from there. But in addition to that, if we go to edit and we hit customize home screen, I wanted to mention under this tinted effect, you can grab this little icon right here, and you can actually find any color you want from the entire wallpaper, and it will tint it like that. Also, if we click this, it kind of makes it a little bit darker. And yesterday I really had this, it was really late at night. I was still on my phone. I literally made all the icons super stealthy, like a really dark color. I made them like almost black basically. And I was like, it was so nice because it's so easy on the eyes. Also, there's like studies proving that if you look at like red tint or like a orange, like a dark orange at night, that could be easier on the eye. So I think this dark mode is really going to make everything easier on the eye for iOS 18, especially at nighttime. Also within the control center, if you go to satellite here and you hit try a demo, you'll be able to see that you can now use the messages, but you can try this stuff out and it just looks a little bit different. The satellite connection demo. So just a little thing I noticed, it looks a little bit different than I've seen before. So I quite like that as well. So that's it. Those are the little changes I've seen more. Since yesterday, I didn't cover every single thing. I covered all the basics that you needed to know about iOS 18 though. So you got a great general picture of the operating system, and there'll be more to come as the beta progresses. I want to answer a few questions though. Basically anyone can try this out right now. You just get a developer account or wait for public beta in July next month. You can all try this out. It's not no secret. Everybody knows that you can go ahead and do that. If you want to wait for the official version, the most polished, refined version, that's going to come in September with the iPhone 16 models. And I want to answer another question. Is my iPhone not getting Apple Intelligence, the new Siri? We don't even see it here yet. But yes, if you don't have an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max or newer, which is the upcoming iPhones, unfortunately, you're not going to get Apple Intelligence. I'm sorry to say, but I think Apple had to make that choice due to the demanding power that artificial intelligence actually demands on phones. They need the best processor, and they probably weren't happy with the performance they would get from some of the older chips. That kind of makes your older phone not irrelevant because they still have latest iOS updates, but you're going to be a little bit behind with the AI stuff on the older phones. The M1 series products, all of those and above, will be getting Apple Intelligence. So if you have an iPad or a Mac with M1, you're still going to be able to try it out, even if your iPhone doesn't get it. So that is 15 more things I noticed with iOS 18. If you guys want to see iPadOS 18, let me know down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. I will catch you all on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.